Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today we've got a review that I guess technically I've been working on for like 2 years. We're taking a look at the Nebo Columbo Flex 250 flashlight. Yeah, so we got a lot to go get into here. First of all, this background I am changing. Don't worry, this is probably the last video I'm going to be filming with this background. But I figured it kind of worked with the flashlight here. Let's go ahead and start off with some measurements and size comparisons. There it is against, straighten everything up. It's like 6.5 inches long. So there we go. Let's compare it. Geez, what do I compare this against? I guess here, let's compare it against the Rat 2. And that's the VV Elementum. Kind of gives you a size on how big this thing is. I should probably, let's compare it against the Olight Arcfeld, which is my EDC flashlight. And here's a Right in the Rain pin, if that helps. I really do need to figure out something to use. I need to figure out what my flashlight size comparison should be because I don't know, it's not as easy to come up with size comparisons as it is for knives. So, a little bit about this flashlight. So this is the Nebo Columbo Flex 250. This is a 250 lumen flashlight with certain features. We're made out of aluminum, and there we go. Let's go ahead and go to some footage of me using the flashlight. This footage is a little bit varied, right? I started recording footage for this light way back in November of 2022 or October of 2022. And yeah, so we're going to show that. We're going to show some more recent footage. It's been a journey with this knife, and we'll talk about that when we get back. All right, guys, we're out here testing. Hello guys, we're out here testing the Nebo Columbo Flex flashlight, and hoping this motion sensor light comes back on. The best way to test a flashlight such as this is to explore abandoned buildings, right? Over there we've got the sun setting, reflecting off that wall. It's kind of cool. It makes it look like it's brighter over there than it really is. So yeah, gonna be exploring some abandoned buildings. What is the biggest danger when exploring a abandoned complex? No, it's not the floor falling in, and it's not, glass splinters. In fact, heck, today I've already been doing a little bit, oh look, the light came on. Today I've already been doing a little bit of exploring, already cut my hand on glass. No, the biggest danger, in my opinion, is running into crazy crackhead homeless people who have taken up residency in said buildings. And so, taking the most careful precautions, I've got my man-away stick, my beater stick. So that's a beater stick, flashlight. We should be okay. That was ominous. As soon as I said okay, the light went off. Maybe we won't be okay. Crap. Now, I know. I said next time I came back here I'd have backup with me, and I do. Got Mr. Beater Stick. But let's go ahead. Oh, and last time I was here I actually also had the Olight Arcfeld. Different flashlight today. Get in the light of those automatic lights. Ugh. Something dead in here. Yuck.
I can see pretty well with this light. I think you guys are struggling to see. Definitely not as bright as the arc filled, but I mean bright enough. Let's see what other settings I got. Okay, there's a low, there's a strobe. Now we want to keep it here. Well, nothing else really of interest, and if you guys can't see anything, because flashlight beam's not bright enough to show you guys nothing, it's a shame. We'll come back with a brighter flashlight.
Alrighty, more than a year later, we're adding some more footage to the Nebo flashlight review. Judging by what I've been doing a lot of recently, it would kind of make sense for me to do some more testing down in a mine or something, because I've been in there a lot, but here we are at work, so this will be cool too. So there we can see we've got a pretty big beam, fairly bright for a pin light. I gotta say it's not bad. Merry Christmas, Sid. One thing we can test real quick here is the different modes that we have. So, let's see what's a good way to do this. There we go. So you can see here we can shrink our light. Maybe you guys saw that. So there we go. So I can do this one-handed. There's a big light on the floor. We're opening it up wider and wider. And shrinking it smaller and smaller. Hope I'm filming that right here. Let's try this again. Okay, let's look at it again. Now that I figured out I can actually do this one-handed. So there we go. Ooh, floodlight. And then we can narrow it down. And this is accomplished by twisting the end of the flashlight. I'll show that in another clip. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this flashlight. First of all, let's talk a little bit about just the history of me in this flashlight. So I bought this in the summer of 2022, I believe. Yeah, I did. And I bought this. My sister and I were going to a wedding for one of our cousins, and we were driving to Utah, and we were taking her car, and I realized that I had forgotten a flashlight. How did that happen? I don't know. Don't ask me. It was a horrible mistake, rush trip, but I want a flashlight. I feel naked without a flashlight, right? I think a flashlight is something that everyone needs to have in their EDC, and normally I've got a bunch of them in my truck, but we weren't in my truck. We were in my sister's car. So we stopped in Durango, I think, for lunch, and I decided that while we were there, I was going to go and buy a flashlight. I went to a hardware store. I can't remember what it was. A hardware store there in Durango, Colorado, and I saw this light, and it was on sale for, at the time, I think it was $15. And I said, hey, that looks pretty good. So I picked it up, and I've had it ever since. And this was actually kind of one of my go-to EDC flashlights until I replaced it with the Olight arc filled. Anyways, long story short, I was going to give this knife a review, and then I forgot. I just got busy doing other things, and now here we are. So let's go ahead and talk about this knife. So first of all, some of the features that I like. I do like that this is a rechargeable flashlight. So we twist this here. Whoops, wrong way. Sometimes this gets a little bit stuck. But we twist this here. You can see that coming out. We've got gaskets in there. So it is waterproof. Twist that, and that reveals your USB charging. And we've got a little light here. So let's go ahead and plug this in, just so you guys can see. And there we go. I don't think this light is completely dead right now. I charged it a little bit ago. Focus up, camera. It's having a hard time today. But there you go. So I always like my flashlights to be rechargeable, and having the, you know, recharging capability of this flashlight protected by that waterproof gasket. It's really, really cool. You can actually make this flashlight. This flashlight is compatible with AA's, I think. So if you're, you know, if you don't have a means to recharge this, but you do have some AA batteries lying around, you can swap them out. Screw that back on. You can see we're also waterproofed in here. This light has 3 modes. The high is 250 lumens, which, you know, isn't a whole lot, but fine. And then you've got a low that is 75 lumens and a strobe. I'm not sure if this is going to show up real well, but there's the low and there's the strobe, right? So high, low, and strobe. So yeah, there we go. 250 lumens is not a whole lot, right? But you know, it's good enough for if you're looking under the couch, things like that. You can also, I think I took some footage demonstrating this, you can change the focus of your light by twisting this part out. So you can see I'm operating that right there. Let's go ahead and actually tilt up a little bit so you guys can see my wall. There we go. So yeah, you can kind of change the focal point of the flashlight, which is cool. Actually, quite a few features packed into this little light. And I like all that. I really do. I think this is a pretty cool little flashlight. I think it gives you a lot of utility, and especially at the time, you know, I bought this, like I said, like a $15 flashlight on a road trip. I was really, really pleased with it. I was quite impressed. The button works fine. You know, it's easy enough to carry. It's a little bit long, but, you know, for lights of this style, it's, you know, easy to carry. I'm not the biggest fan of this clip. The clip is pretty flimsy, but, you know, it's not bad. Let's go ahead and talk about the price. So on Nebo's site, these run about 45 bucks. I've seen these in Home Depot and places, and the price seems to fluctuate quite a bit. I've seen them not on sale, but, you know, like just regular price, 25 bucks, 30 bucks. So I'm not sure exactly what the price point on these is. If you're like me and you can get it for $15 on sale, I'm going to say this is an excellent, excellent flashlight, right? That's pretty good for a $15 flashlight. If you spend 45 bucks on this light, I think you've been had a little. I don't think it's worth that much. Is it a good light? Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed this light, and I, you know, keep it around. I've still got it with me. I keep it here on my desk most of the time. It's a cool light. It's a fine light. It's not the brightest thing. I definitely don't take this with me when I'm exploring mines and stuff as my primary light. I have taken it a couple times as a backup light. You can never have too many lights when you're, you know, going underground. But it doesn't cast, you know, the biggest beam. It's not the brightest thing, but if you're using it like in your workshop, looking under the couch, things like that, it's perfectly fine. So, what do I think about the Columbo Flex? I think it's a fine light if you can get it at a good price. If you're finding it for like 45 bucks, right around there, I would pass on it. I don't think it's worth that much. But if you get a good deal on it, it's absolutely a cool flashlight. So that's going to be it for today's review, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment below, and subscribe. Quick shout out to the channel members at the cowboy level, Old Tonto Guy and Sharpened Blade. I really appreciate the support. It helps a lot with the channel. And yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. I've been Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.